Have your years after 70 been the hardest? 99% don't realize that these 4 secrets change everything. At 67, Harold had a quiet moment of clarity while tending to his backyard garden, the same patch of soil he'd nurtured for decades. Knees a bit stiffer now, eyesight not quite as sharp, but his hands still remembered every rhythm of life in that space. That morning, he paused mid-prune, not from fatigue, but reflection. This, he thought, isn't the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of how I choose to live. Aging, after all, isn't just about getting by. It can be a time of bold decisions, healing routines, and rediscovered joy. The years ahead are not merely meant for survival, but for thriving in a way that honors everything we've lived through and everything we still dream of. And that's what this story is about, how small, daily choices, starting right now, can shape a future filled with strength, clarity, and peace. Whether you're in your 60s or well into your 80s, it's never too late to build a life that feels alive. So let's explore what it truly means to age not just with time, but with purpose. Before we get started, I'd love it if you'd give this video a like. It helps me keep sharing important lessons. If you're not already subscribed, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on new videos. Also, if you like this video, write a 1 in the comments and a 0 if you don't, so I know what can be improved. So, here we go. 1. Quality sleep, the foundation of recovery. At 74, Joan had come to accept that aging brought certain changes, aches that lingered longer, energy that faded quicker. But what surprised her most wasn't pain or stiffness. It was sleep. Or rather, the loss of it. Once upon a time, she would drift off with ease, lulled by a quiet evening and the rhythm of crickets outside her window. Now, her nights were filled with tossing, turning, and staring at the ceiling, heart heavy with restlessness. And the cost? Mornings arrived with a fog she couldn't shake. Her memory slipped more often. Her joints ached. Her motivation vanished before breakfast. That's when her doctor gently told her, sleep is not just rest. At your age, it's survival. Joan took those words seriously. She started researching, listening, trying. She learned that during sleep, the brain clears waste proteins that build up during the day, some of which are linked to memory loss and dementia. The heart rate slows, the immune system repairs, and stress hormones settle. Without this nightly recovery, the body simply can't function at its best. So, she made changes, not dramatic ones, but intentional. She set a bedtime and stuck to it, even on weekends. No more late-night news. She swapped her heavy quilt for a breathable cotton blanket, kept her bedroom cool, and left her phone in the kitchen. Lavender oil replaced her usual nightcap. A light stretch before bed helped calm her nerves. These small acts, repeated nightly, became her sacred ritual. Within weeks, things shifted. She no longer woke with a pounding heart or scattered thoughts. Her days became brighter, not because the sun changed, but because she had. Her mood improved. Her memory felt sharper. Her energy returned, like a friend who had simply stepped out for a while. Joan's story isn't rare. Many seniors suffer silently, thinking poor sleep is just a part of aging. It isn't. And it shouldn't be. Because when you protect your sleep, you protect your future. 2. Preventive care and screenings, life-saving measures. Walter was never one to fuss over doctor visits. At 76, he preferred to tough things out, a habit formed in younger years when time and energy seemed endless. I'm fine, he'd say. Just getting older. But deep down, he noticed the small signs: dizziness when standing too quickly, a strange tightness in his chest, occasional fatigue that no nap could fix. Then one day, his neighbor Richard collapsed during a morning walk. A stroke. No warning, no time to prepare. Walter visited him in the hospital, heart heavy, and asked the nurse what had gone wrong. It could have been caught earlier, she said gently. With regular screenings, we might have seen it coming. That moment stayed with Walter. He made an appointment that week, just a checkup, nothing urgent. But what they found changed everything. His blood pressure was high. Cholesterol? Even higher. He was pre-diabetic, and early signs of heart disease were beginning to show. Thankfully, his doctor said, we caught it early. There's time to turn this around. And there was. With medication, diet adjustments, and routine follow-ups, Walter avoided what could have become a life-threatening crisis. What he once saw as a hassle, he now saw as a gift, the chance to stay ahead. Preventive care isn't just about blood work or numbers on a chart. It's about preserving the years ahead. Cancer screenings, heart checks, eye exams, these are not just suggestions. They are safeguards. Vaccinations, too, remain vital. Shingles, pneumonia, flu, illnesses that can feel mild in youth may become dangerous with age. Protecting yourself protects your independence. If you've been putting off a visit, let Walter's story be a reminder. It's not weakness to check on your health. It's wisdom. Because what you don't know can hurt you. But what you do catch in time can save your life. 3. Mental health, just as important as physical health. Eleanor had always been the strong one, the kind of woman others leaned on. She raised 3 children, worked full-time, cared for her husband through illness, and still managed to bake birthday cakes from scratch. But after her husband passed and her children moved far away, the silence in her home began to echo in ways she hadn't expected. She started forgetting why she'd walked into rooms. She slept too much some days, and not at all on others. And even when surrounded by people at the local senior center, she felt oddly invisible. One afternoon, during a routine checkup, her doctor asked gently, "Have you been feeling lonely, Eleanor?" Her eyes welled up. It was the first time anyone had asked. We often talk about bones and blood pressure, but rarely do we speak about the weight of solitude, grief, or anxiety. Yet mental health is just as vital as physical health, especially as we age. Depression isn't simply feeling sad. In seniors, it often hides behind forgetfulness, aches, or withdrawal. And untreated, it can weaken the immune system, worsen chronic conditions, and chip away at the joy of living. Eleanor began therapy soon after that appointment. She joined a support group, started journaling, and made weekly calls with her granddaughter part of her routine. Slowly, her spark returned. Not all at once, but like morning light peeking through the blinds. Mental wellness isn't about never feeling down. It's about knowing when to speak, whom to speak to, and giving yourself permission to be human. So if you're struggling, talk to someone. Reach out. Connect. Laughter, love, and even the comfort of being heard can be the best medicine. Because a healthy mind is the soil from which a strong life grows. And it's never too late to tend to it. 4. Physical activity, a pillar of longevity. Frank used to be a carpenter. His hands, once strong and calloused, built tables, shelves, and a lifetime of memories. But after retirement, things slowed. He stopped building. He sat more. Days blurred into one another, coffee, TV, a nap, then dinner. The tools gathered dust, and so did his muscles. Then came the fall. It wasn't dramatic, just a slip in the hallway. But the bruised hip, the painful recovery, and the loss of confidence it triggered made Frank realize something sobering. He wasn't as strong as he used to be. And it wasn't age. It was inactivity. His doctor told him gently, "Movement isn't just about mobility, Frank. It's your lifeline." Physical activity after 60 isn't about running marathons. It's about preservation of strength, balance, flexibility, and most importantly, independence. Frank started small. A 10-minute walk each morning. Light stretches with a chair. Gradually, he added a gentle Tai Chi class at the community center. No machines. No pressure. Just consistency. Within months, he noticed changes. His back didn't ache as much. He could carry groceries again. His balance returned. But more than that, his spirit lifted. You see, movement doesn't just strengthen the body, it revives the mind. It floods the brain with endorphins, boosts memory, and sharpens focus. It improves sleep and helps ward off chronic illnesses like diabetes, arthritis, and heart disease. Even gardening, dancing in the kitchen, or playing with grandkids counts. What matters isn't the form, it's the habit. So if you're wondering when to start, the answer is now. Not for weight loss. Not for appearance. But for freedom. Frank may not build tables anymore, but he's building something far more important, a future where he moves with purpose, not fear. And that's a life worth walking toward. Conclusion: aging with strength, one choice at a time. Martha sat on her porch swing, watching the golden evening light spill across her garden. Her knees creaked a little, and her hands bore the gentle tremble of time, but in her heart, she felt strong. Not because she defied aging, but because she embraced it with care and intention. The truth she'd come to understand was simple: growing older is not about slowing down, it's about living smarter. Every day, we face choices. Go for a short walk or stay in the chair. Reach out to someone or let silence linger. Make that doctor's appointment or put it off again. Sleep with purpose or toss through the night. None of these decisions alone seem life-changing. But added up, day after day, they shape the story of how we age, not just how long we live, but how well. Good sleep repairs the body and clears the mind. Preventive care catches danger before it strikes. Mental health nurtures resilience. Physical movement protects your independence. And most importantly, each healthy habit is a quiet promise to yourself: I still matter. Martha knew she couldn't turn back time. But she didn't have to. Because forward was still full of possibility, new memories to make, people to love, and mornings to greet with gratitude. So wherever you are in your journey, whether just stepping into your 60s or well into your 80s, know this: you still have power. You still have time. And with every conscious step toward wellness, you build a future with more clarity, energy, and joy. Choose to move. Choose to rest well. Choose to care for your body and your spirit. Because aging doesn't have to be about decline, it can be a celebration of strength, earned and renewed, one day at a time.